a simpler
The forgotten physical PlayStation Store and Sony's $85 million flop. Fuck you, Sony, and fuck you, Rockstar.
1999, a simpler time. Star Wars was phantom menacing, dial-up internet
back in the
reigned
day.
supreme, and San Francisco witnessed the birth of Sony's ambitious and ultimately not so successful $85 million flop, the Sony Metreon. Nestled inside of this monstrosity of shopping and entertainment was Sony's only physical PlayStation store to date. Sony has
This is such a great ass idea. How did they manage to flop with this? Probably because of the digital world. All right, my bad. Probably because with the invention of internet. When did internet get invented? October 90s. All right, I suck.
has had other brick and mortar stores like Sony Style or Sony Square NYC, but those places sold a broad range of Sony products. The Metreon PlayStation Store was dedicated exclusively to the PlayStation, though it was much more than just a store. The Sony Metreon complex and its PlayStation Store opened on June 16th.
This is such a W video, bro. He's not wasting our time. He's just like, you know, cutting straight to the point. W guy, I'm gonna subscribe to this. I already liked the video. Good ass video, man. He just got a comment from Simply Pack. Let's see how he reacts to that.
1999, with a grand opening ceremony that included then San Francisco Mayor Willie Brown. In the years that followed, the PlayStation Store became a place of pilgrimage where die-hard fans could experience launch events for games and consoles.
And imagine playing in the PlayStation Store with your homies at 3 a.m. in a rainy day. Oh, damn, that would be so fucking cool. I wish I was born at like what 80s. I really want to experience the 80s, but I can't. Unless I can figure something out. I have been working on some stuff lately, but it's not looking so fortunate right now.
With DJs, cosplay contests, and even celebrity appearances by the likes of Jet Li and
They didn't invite me. I'm a celebrity, aren't I?
Hideo Kojima. The Sony Metreon itself was a 350,000 square foot, 4-story vertical complex that was supposed to be the first in a line of urban entertainment centers created and run by Sony themselves. A place that would house dining, music, shopping, movies, interactive theme park-like exhibitions, and of course, video games. Sony had been developing the idea for the center since at least 1995, and reportedly spent $85 million to bring the Metreon to life.
$85 million? Bro, you can buy at least like 3 tungsten cubes with that. I'm just kidding. I fucking hate those stereotypes. when you are in your relationship anniversary and your girlfriend buys you a tungsten cube.
The building was developed as a joint venture between Millennium Partners and WDG Ventures, and it appears that the ownership was split amongst them, but Sony had the controlling power and was the master
Sony always has a controlling power, man. Like, Sony, what the fuck are we doing?
Tenant, who not only managed the Metreon, but also picked the stores and exhibits for it. Besides the PlayStation Store, the Metreon featured a separate Sony-style store, the first ever in the world Microsoft Store, a large children's play area based on the book Where the Wild Things Are, a 15-screen movie theater with San Francisco's...
Bro, I wish my parents cracked earlier. Like, why did you guys wait till 2009? Oh yeah, you know, well, let's just wait till 2009. So, you know, our son won't be able to experience the greatest era of gaming. Wild cuts.
First IMAX screen, a Discovery Channel store, Starbucks, 8 restaurants, an arcade called Airtight Garage, and an edutainment exhibit called The Way Things Work. Inside the PlayStation Store itself, you would find plenty of games to purchase, many behind a counter Sony called the Retail Bar, which was staffed by...
The Retail Bar, oh my gosh, I need to look that up. Alright, yep, that guy was lying. Oh, the time Sony built a mall. Bro, Sony, why? Why are you doing this?
By employees who were...
Yo, Sony, I need to mail Sony. I need to call Sony real quick, guys. Can you guys give me like just like a second real quick? Yo, Sony. Yep, we need to talk. Oh my...
Yep, Sony. Yeah, we need to talk, man. What's up with you doing every good thing in the 80s and the 1990s? Like what? You can't be working like this, you know? I get that you're sorry, but I still like what? Being sorry does not change anything. Yep, I'll be seeing you. By the way, yeah. Thanks for PlayStation you gave me. Yeah, I like the controller design, but I mean, like, you could have made it cheaper, you know what I'm saying? All right, we don't need to talk about that dining experience. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Guys, chat. Give me like a second. I'll tell them. Chat. Sony says hi to you. Yep, they're saying hi to back too. Yeah, somebody just said fuck Sony. Yes. Yeah, I'm banning that guy. Wait a second. I'm definitely banning that guy. Yep. Okay, yeah, I'll be seeing you soon then. Yeah, I like the mustache. Thanks. Yeah, you know, we should go out Sunday. How about today? Alright, 8 p.m. Alright, bet, bye. Chat, I just got myself a date with the owner of Sony. Let me see who I actually got a date with with.
Wait a second. Why is he kinda... I kinda like that mustache.
Referred to as game tenders. With its
tenders?
TV wall.
Oh, that's creative. Sony, that's creative. You done outdid yours. I can't speak, man.
Or a metal piping, colorful stools, egg-shaped kiosks, moody lighting, and
Game tender, get it? Cause like usually they're called bartenders, but in this case they're called game tenders cause people are playing games. And imagine, oh my gosh, imagine this. Yo, game tender, can I get Call of Duty Black Ops 3? Use a teal. Oh my gosh, I wish my parents cracked earlier.
TV screens everywhere. The PlayStation Store screamed futuristic, or at least the late 90s version of
Or alcoholistic. Get it? Games. All right.
Future.
No, that did
I
not
spoke to Devin, who was there on opening weekend, and he said that there was a wow factor to the store that made him feel like he was at a big E3 type trade show.
I forgot to record a fucking intro. All right, I'll do that later. You know what? I'm just gonna do it. Dear Pack, I'm really hungry, but I'm broke. I only have 1 cent and a dream. And I'm really hungry, and I want McDonald's. But again, I'm really broke. If only someone was a YouTuber. Bro, chat! What the fuck are you guys sending me?
Devin also scored this PlayStation keychain on opening weekend, which is probably a collector's item now. There were 30 stations
Let me
throughout
see how
the
much
store.
they go for. Google.com. Fair conditions. What? Did you fuck it or?
Which is probably a collector's item now. There were 30 stations throughout the store where customers could play a variety of single and multiplayer games. Beyond games and consoles, there was plenty of merch. T-shirts, bags, watches, even Crash Bandicoot plushies. But what really made the PlayStation Store unique were its special events for games, movies, and hardware launches. Some events were low-key, offering early access to games and swag, but other events like the one held to promote the release of the 2001 film Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within had fans lining up for over a day. This event had raffles for Final Fantasy prizes, an auction, a cosplay contest, and an appearance from the creator of the Final Fantasy series themselves, Hironobu
Pack. No, he's lying. I mean Pack.
Sakaguchi. For some game launches, like with Resident Evil Outbreak, SOCOM 2 Navy SEALs, Final Fantasy XI, and Jet Li's Rise to Honor, the PlayStation Store was transformed to fit the theme of those games.
Oh my gosh, that was so cool.
The PlayStation Store prides itself on being a complete world for gamers, offering players a place to test drive the latest titles. But on this night, the store itself truly came alive.
That was so cool. I'm gonna beat him.
Yeah,
They're eating him?
Something out in the woods, some sort of biotoxin or something. Just sketch your reports right now.
Police number question, we're gonna interrogate him. Come on.
Rise to Honor's event also featured an in-store appearance from Jet Li. The PlayStation Store hosted the launch of 3 consoles, the PlayStation 2, PSP, and PlayStation 3.
Holy
Sony Computer
shit.
Entertainment of America Executive Vice President Jack Tretton was
Generational
at all
run.
3 launches and handed out the console to the first person in line for at least the PSP and PS3 launches.
For free,
The
am I right?
PS2 launch event was held on October 26, 2000, and
Look at
was
the
fairly
people
simple
camping
compared to
outside
some
the
of the later game launch events I've already talked about. You still had the usual seemingly endless line of people, many of whom had been camping out for days. There were roving reporters from the likes of GameSpot interviewing exhausted gamers.
All right, so Paul, how long you been here?
I've been here since 8:30 last night.
And it rained on you?
It rained, it was hot, it was cold.
Damn, that cannot be that deep, but I'm not gonna lie. I definitely need to experience this.
A dedicated man.
A huge sign counting down to the PS2 North American launch was placed in front of the store, and Sony was also nice enough to feed people waiting in line. But the only entertainment I could find mentioned were some jugglers and apparently a not-so-great comedian.
I'm here at the Sony Metreon where hundreds of kids had lined up to get their PSP at midnight. It's a great event. We got a live DJ, there's free food, free drinks, t-shirts, hats, lots of giveaways from different publishers.
The PSP launched in North America on March 24th, 2005. Over 500 gamers started lining up around the PlayStation store the night before, hoping to get their hands on Sony's new portable when it went on sale at midnight.
Mike, how long you been standing here? The first section being 1 through 26. Almost 30 hours.
Unfortunately, the store only had a stock of 500 PSPs, and the wristbands allowing those in line to buy them had already been exhausted by 11:20 p.m. Even so, this event had more of a party atmosphere, and even those who didn't get a PSP seemed to have a great time.
Not everybody here made it online. We got my man with the signs here. What's up?
Will trade Game Gear and virginity for a spot in line. Damn, he's down bad.
I think I'm gonna get one. Line's way too long.
Come on, ladies. He will trade his virginity and his Game Gear for a spot in line.
It's the blue Game Gear also.
Three. Here it is. Here are the kids. All set to get their PSPs. Look at them go wild.
On November 16, 2006, the PlayStation 3 would have the biggest and most elaborate of all the events held at the PlayStation Store. As with the PS2 and PSP, a large crowd had begun lining up well over 24 hours before the event, which would culminate at midnight when the PS3 went on sale. You had the usual staples from these events like a DJ, merch giveaways, free food, etc., but the overall number of people in line and the scope of the event was bigger this time. The press invite promised a quote-unquote dramatic delivery of the PS3, and Sony, pardon the pun, delivered.
What are they gonna do? Arrest people?
At around 8 p.m., 2 San Francisco police motorcycles led 3 black SUVs down the street. Men wearing black suits piled out of the SUVs, pretending to talk into their earpieces. Then, a large semi-truck pulled up to the Metreon. Amidst all of the commotion, Sony executive Jack Tretton appeared, unloaded the first PS3 box from the truck, and showed it to the crowd. The boxes were loaded into the store, but this was just all for show. The boxes were actually empty. The PlayStation Store had not only already received their shipment of 700 PS3s, they'd already been packed into PlayStation Store bags well before the event. Then, as if being sleep-deprived from waiting in line for 2 days wasn't punishment enough, Angels and Airwaves gave an hour-long performance at 9 p.m. on a stage that had been set up in the middle of 4th Street. The PlayStation Store had a much bigger allotment of PS3 consoles than the mere dozens sent to other retailers. But with a reported 1,000 plus people in line, many went home empty-handed. These events full of rabid fans eager to spend hundreds of dollars may make the PlayStation Store and the Metreon complex itself seem like it was a big success. But the reality is that Sony Metreon had been struggling almost since the beginning.
What?
Remember that first in the world Microsoft Store?
Yep.
Well, they closed in October of 2001. Which just happened to be 1 month before the North American launch of the original Xbox. And while it would make a much juicier story if Sony had pushed out Microsoft, the truth is that as early as 2001, pretty much every business at the Sony Metreon, except the movie theater, was struggling. Metreon restaurants had already begun closing, and by 2002,
Sony Metreon, I need to look that up real quick, chat. Dude, look at this! This is just straight up out from a sci-fi movie. 2026, yeah. No, 2020. What? No. 2026. Will it reopen by any chance? Nope. 2009. Oh, wait a second. When did it close, though? 2009, the year I was born.
The initial luster of
Fuck
the
you,
Metreon
man.
had noticeably faded. In a May 1st, 2002 article by David Lazarus, he highlighted some of Metreon's struggles. The customer service team, previously comprised of 9 staff members, were laid off, and security guards took on the job of fielding questions from the public. One of the major attractions, the way things work, had been removed the previous summer, and there were rumors that Sony was exploring options to exit the master tenant lease and hand over management to a more experienced mall operator. Many retailers like the Discovery Channel
that
store
would have been
reduced
so
inventory
cool.
due to sluggish sales. Discovery would regularly cut employee hours and sometimes even close early due to the lack of customers. Discovery, who took up a large part of the first floor, later asked for a smaller space to rent, but Sony wouldn't allow them to alter their current lease, and Discovery, like so many other stores, just refused to renew their lease and left in 2003. Attendance continued to plummet, and stores, including the PlayStation store, were often empty. In a 2006 interview with San Francisco Gate, Metreon's creative director Trevor Bryant said, "Our original vision was to create a space that was really innovative in terms of being a technology showplace and an educational experience. What got created was a shopping mall with gated attractions that you had to pay to get into. It wasn't very fun, and the public reacted to that. Sony started cutting our budget almost as soon as we opened.
Why?
They
Why would
decided
cut
within
it,
6
though?
months of opening that they didn't want to be in the land development business after all. Over the next few years, the Metreon became a bit of a revolving door for tenants. The only notable addition that Sony made was in 2005 with the Walk of Game, a copycat of the Hollywood Walk of Fame that honored
yeah, that
video
makes
game
sense.
industry giants, games, and characters. In February of 2006, Sony finally threw in the towel and sold the Metreon to the Westfield Group. Westfield's overhaul of the Metreon included removing the Walk of Game and turning the second floor
of
into a
course,
city
AMC's
Target.
gonna buy it.
And
AMC has like literally, AMC is like in literally every mall.
although the PlayStation Store
Rico.
remained open, it wouldn't be open for long. The last significant event that was held at the PlayStation Store was for the release of 2008's Metal Gear Solid 4, but this time, there wouldn't be a midnight launch party. Instead, Hideo Kojima and several other creators simply made an in-store appearance to sign copies of the game from 4 to 6 p.m. on June 14th, 2008, 2 days after Metal Gear Solid 4 had already been released. Just a year after the Metal Gear event, Sony opted not to renew their lease with Westfield and finally closed the PlayStation Store on June 3rd, 2009, 10 years
Damn.
after it opened. A spokesperson from Sony said, "We're looking for new avenues for retail space, but we felt it best not to continue with dedicated retail stores at the Metreon at this time. It's a business decision." The PlayStation
Bro,
Store
it
closed
looks
with
so
zero
cool, dog.
fanfare. There was no over-the-top spectacle filled with men in black, no bands, no Jack Tretton either, no goodbye party, just a curt statement from Sony, a small sign out front, and the feeling that Sony regretted the whole thing. Thanks so much for watching the whole video. Since a lot of people never
video,
got to
man. I mean, I got left speechless mid video, but that was a cool ass video. Alright, let's continue.